At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to Henry Papillon, a highly skilled and intelligent thief. However, Papillon does not steal for his own benefit. He works under the command of a ruthless and merciless boss. This boss is known for his cruelty. Even the slightest betrayal is punished by death. In fact, Papillon witnesses this brutality firsthand when the boss viciously beats one of his own men nearly to death. On this particular day, Papillon successfully steals diamonds from the mansion of a wealthy man during a party. When he delivers the diamonds, his boss expresses trust in him, saying he believes Papillon will never betray him. But he also gives a chilling warning. If Papillon ever betrays him, even by mistake, he will suffer the same fate as the man who was just beaten. He hands over the diamonds, jokingly claiming he already kept the biggest ones for himself. His boss laughs, unaware that Papillon is actually telling the truth. On his way home, Papillon meets his fiancée and gives her the largest diamonds, revealing they are worth more than what their entire village could earn in a year. The couple happily heads home, unaware that they are being secretly watched. The watcher is a spy sent by the boss to confirm whether Papillon is being loyal. That night, Papillon sleeps peacefully, unaware of the danger closing in. The next morning, while planning his future with his fiancée, the police arrive and arrest him for murder. Confused and shocked, Papillon is taken away. Soon after, he is shown in prison, his trial already completed, and he has been sentenced to life imprisonment. His fiancée promises to hire the best lawyer to save him, but Papillon knows the truth. His boss framed him for the murder of the same companion who had been beaten earlier. Determined to survive, Papillon decides he must escape. In a nearby cell, a man named Juliet tells him that escaping requires money. At first, Papillon ignores him, but later, during a medical checkup, Juliet introduces him to Louis, a wealthy and educated prisoner who once forged documents and amassed a fortune. Because of his wealth, Louis is a target. Other prisoners are eager to kill him for his money. Juliet suggests that if Papillon protects Louis, he can earn money in return. Soon, all prisoners are given new uniforms and transported by ship to a brutal prison across the sea. On the ship, Papillon approaches Louis and offers protection, warning him that others will kill him for his money. Louis initially dismisses him, but that night, he witnesses a horrifying scene. A prisoner murders another inmate for money, and even a guard participates by collecting some of it. Realizing the danger, Louis accepts Papillon's offer the next morning. Louis agrees to pay Papillon for protection, while Papillon explains he needs money to escape and promises to take Louis with him. Louis, however, believes his wife will hire a lawyer and secure his release. Papillon, more experienced and cynical, tells him that his wife is likely enjoying his wealth and has no intention of bringing him back. That very night, the same killer returns, this time targeting Louis. Before he can strike, Papillon intervenes, brutally beating the attacker until his face is unrecognizable. Guards discover Papillon's involvement due to the blood on his hands and punish him by chaining him upside down without food for days. Despite his suffering, Papillon worries only about Louis. When he returns, he is relieved to find Louis unharmed. His violent defense had scared others away. Eventually, they arrive at the new prison. The warden delivers a terrifying speech. Any escape attempt will result in 2 years of solitary confinement, and killing a guard means 5 years. He warns them that escape is impossible due to the surrounding jungle and shark-infested waters. Life in this prison is brutal. Prisoners perform hard labor daily. One day, Louis drops his money, and Papillon risks everything to retrieve it, proving his loyalty. This strengthens Louis's trust. Meanwhile, Papillon secretly plans his escape. During work, Papillon strikes a deal with a cart driver, promising $5,000 for help escaping, money he doesn't actually have. The driver agrees. However, soon after, another prisoner attempts to escape but is caught and publicly executed, beheaded in front of everyone. Shockingly, the prisoner is Juliet, the very man who had guided Papillon. Later, Papillon attacks guards who are beating Louis and tries to escape. He jumps off a cliff into water and reaches the cart driver's boat, only to be betrayed. The driver was working with the jailer. Papillon is captured again and sentenced to solitary confinement. In isolation, Papillon suffers immensely. He is given minimal food, beaten, and driven toward insanity. Louis secretly helps him by sending coconuts through a bribed guard. This keeps Papillon alive and slowly restores his strength. When the warden discovers this, he kills the guard and punishes Papillon further by reducing his food and plunging his cell into darkness. Papillon nearly loses his mind and even attempts suicide, but survives. After 2 years, he is released, weak and seemingly insane, but he is only pretending. Louis later reveals that Papillon was right. His wife betrayed him, divorced him, and married his lawyer. Grateful for Papillon's loyalty, Louis decides to help him escape. They devise a plan involving drugging the guards during a movie night. Papillon also recruits a boy named Sam to steal keys. On the chosen night, the plan unfolds successfully. Guards are drugged, keys are stolen, and they escape. However, during the escape, Louis injures his leg badly. Despite this, Papillon refuses to leave him behind and carries him. They reach a boat, but conflict arises when another escapee suggests abandoning Louis. A fight breaks out, and Louis kills the man to save Papillon. They continue their journey but are caught in a violent storm and lose consciousness. They wake up on an island where locals initially treat them kindly. However, a nun betrays them by calling the police. They are captured again, and Sam is killed while trying to escape. Papillon is punished with 5 years in solitary confinement. After enduring unimaginable suffering, Papillon is transferred to Devil's Island, a place so dangerous that guards are unnecessary. Prisoners barely survive. There, he reunites with Louis, who has lost hope of escape. One day, Papillon observes a coconut floating in the sea, inspiring a new plan. He builds rafts from coconuts and prepares to jump from a cliff into the ocean. Louis refuses to join him, believing he cannot survive outside. Papillon takes the leap. Louis assumes he has died, but moments later Papillon emerges alive, shouting in triumph. He has finally escaped. Years later, Papillon is living freely. He shares his story with a publisher in America. His story brings him justice. His name is cleared and he is declared innocent. At last, he is able to return home, ending his long journey of resilience, loyalty, and unbreakable determination.